Hello, good morning, and welcome to this session with our customer Koenigsegg. I'm joined this morning by Henrik Leonhardt. Good morning, Henrik. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Good morning, Andrew, and good morning to everyone who have tuned in for this great event. I'm super excited to be part of it and to talk a little bit about our CAD and PLM strategies and our products. So who am I? Yeah, my role here at Koenigsegg, I'm a mechanical design engineer for the most part. Been working here for quite some time. I was fortunate enough to start at Koenigsegg when Koenigsegg was really small. It's 13 years ago now. It's back in 2008 I started. So I got the opportunity to work with a little bit of everything. I used to say that I have collected all these different hats that I put on. So one week I work with interior designs, and another week I work with exterior designs, and I've worked with powertrains and suspensions and smart airbag systems, passive safety. I've done artwork. Yeah, I've done everything to electrical harness designs and production engineering for that purpose. And I've done a little bit of everything. And also I got the really old hat that I put on. I put it on at least once every day, and that is a CAD and PLM administrator hat that I put on and try to get the systems, to have them up and running and to solve problems and have everyone working as good as they can.
What you've just said there, actually, I think in a nutshell embodies some of the fantastic things people are going to see about Koenigsegg and some of the wonderful work you do. So I hope we can share just 1 ounce of that enthusiasm and intrigue that you've led us into there.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. With this hat, this CAD and PLM administrator hat, I've also been involved in the future strategies that we have and how we going to evolve and adapt to our new challenges. So that is what we are also going to cover during this morning. Really exciting stuff.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the agenda, which is really, it's a framework. We'll see where the session takes us, because I know there's a lot of great stuff you guys do. So we're going to have a bit of an introduction to the company, as is the way with these things. We'll have a video, which is probably more exciting than many of the videos that we get to show. Then we'll talk about the particular challenges that have brought us here today and why you've looked to improve your PLM landscape. Then we'll talk a bit about how you've done it and to a certain extent how Technia has helped in that. And then we'll sort of wrap up and talk about the direction of travel and what you've got as the next steps. Does that sound okay?
Perfect.
Okay. Right. Well, I think the first thing to do, I suppose, is let's run the VT and come back after that and get into it.
See what you're gonna do. Play it back like 1,000,000 times because they know that you're the absolute. No one else is even coming close. They're all just reaching for a piece of you. The original.
Wow, that's awesome. I had the pleasure of visiting you a few months ago, and everything you see in the video, it's like that and more in person. So, Henrik, I know you wanted to take us through a little bit more background in some detail.
Yeah, so supercars, mega cars. This is what we do. Is, you know, highly niched. These are products that we put our heart and soul into, designing and engineering and building, and it's all about, you know, passion and perfection. And we like to say that we sell more than cars and vehicles or supercars, hypercars. We really sell artwork and emotions. That's more than, you know, the softer values as well, because we do everything to absolute perfection, and we try to really focus on performance and in every aspect, in both engineering but also manufacturing, because these cars are hand built by artisans that put their heart and soul into them. And the finish of them is absolutely extraordinary, and also the customers are highly involved in customizing the vehicles and put their emotions as well into these cars. So they are more than just transportation vehicles. They are art, I would say.
Well, you only have to see some of the YouTube Mr. JWW with
Right.
his interviews with Christian von Koenigsegg, and when they're touching the carbon that's been finished back, and just his passion shines through as well. And if it's coming from the top, it's it's infectious, I guess.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're trying to push everything, and that is quite extraordinary with this company. And yeah, today Koenigsegg is quite well known, you know. But I think if you really look into what we actually do, and this is, it's a whole nother depth to Koenigsegg, and I want to elaborate a little bit about it. And it's what we have done historically is that we have taken, you know, available technology and really pushed it, really pushed it further and further and further to achieve perfection and to strive for performance. And when you do this, we take available technology, you will sooner or later hit the ceiling. You can't push it anymore, right? It can't be done, and then you have to live with the compromise and work around it. But we don't do that at Koenigsegg. We don't like compromises. We rather take a few steps back, look at the situation, and see if we can innovate and do something really special and new, and trying to gain from it. So what this has resulted in is vehicles today that we are producing, and also on the drawing tables. Most of the systems and parts are designed and engineered by Koenigsegg. This is truly true. It's to our own design, tailor-made, perfected as much as we possibly can, and this is something really special. And also when doing this, we are an OEM, proper OEM. We are a vehicle manufacturer that engineers produce and sell vehicles to customers all over the world. So that is also an aspect that we have to comply with all the regulations. These are fully homologated vehicles. So that is also one thing I want to highlight. You know, there are so many prototypes popping up everywhere, and it's super exciting. I absolutely love it. But to actually take a prototype and do it properly and properly homologate it, that's a completely different story. And I would say that, yeah, Koenigsegg, it's really a depth to it that is really kept me going and kept me motivated in this company.
Well, I've put the picture of the Chimera on the screen here, because when I was talking to you recently, it felt like this was one of the reasons, or the drivers for taking this next step. And everything you've just said about homologation is one of the things that differentiates you, I'm sure, from, as you mentioned, several of the other players who, I mean, there are others that go to that length, but nobody goes to the full extreme in every area that Koenigsegg does. So could you sort of take us through just some of the challenges and features, and just to finally push home this point about the breadth of what Koenigsegg does. We've got a couple of images that show a bit more about the Gemira as a representation of that.
Yeah, absolutely. The Gemira is a good example of what we do, and this is our latest model, and it's unique in so many ways, and it really highlights our company profile and what we do in our DNA. And it's unique in a way that it's a 4-seater car. It's a mega GT car, so it's a Gran Turismo 4-seater. The approach is more like every sort of more practical car rather than our hypercars that are more into racing. But this is, you got all your conveniences, you got your racing systems, you got your entertainment systems and cup holders and everything in this car. It's truly unique. You can easily fit 4 really tall persons in it.
I've seen the video.
Yeah, exactly. It's absolutely unique, and it's a new kind of vehicle. There's nothing out on the market that is close to this one. So it's truly unique, and the way that Koenigsegg are planning to accomplish this ambitious project is also really unique and game-changing in every aspect. Also, I mean, when it comes to CAD and PLM, we also have to really try to optimize it and try to make it work, enable to achieve this goal.
But you just this image now, that the color scheme might not be to my taste, for example, but that said, I know that the production volume of this vehicle is more than double what you've done in the past. So
yeah,
and your business is about tailor-made products. So again, all of these systems are necessary because you have to manage the choices that the customer takes and manage the production such that all of these colors and trim and finish choices come together. So it's not just a case of having these bold images and what have you. There's a lot of systems and effort goes on behind the scenes to make this work as a business.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. It's a highly complex product in every aspect, and you know, to pull this off, I mean, as I said earlier, Koenigsegg, we don't like compromises. It's not what we do. We will rather innovate to do this, and actually a 4-seater mega GT hypercar has been in discussions for years here at Koenigsegg, actually, but the technology have not been matured enough to not have compromises. So what we've done, we have looked at the current production model we have today. It's called Vegera, and that drivetrain is quite unique, where we have a V8 double turbo combustion engine layout that works in harmony with 3 electrical motors. It's a hybrid system, but they work so well in harmony that we were able to get rid of the gearbox. So there's no traditional gearbox in that model. It still works absolutely perfect. So that was a good starting point. We can get rid of the gearbox. That's good. We don't need packaging for that. And also we have the available technology with the Vegera. So we know we have a good experience with electrical drive systems. So that's perfectly fine. So then discussions are, why don't we make it a full electrical GT car? But again, we don't want to compromise on the range, and we don't want our customers to be forced to stand still on charging points and all that. So we knew that we needed a power plant to get this going. So, but still, the V8 configuration that we've had for years and perfected for years have still too big to fit into this package. So Koenigsegg have a sister company called Freevalve, which and have for many years engineered and designed actuators for controlling the valves in the internal combustion engines. And it's to replace the camshaft, the traditional camshaft and springs to control them. We have individual actuators that we can vary both the timing and the stroke of the valves individually. And what this results in is an innovation. It's also a game changer among many game changers here. actually revolutionizing the internal combustion engine, because we can optimize the combustion at any given time when we run the engine. So it's all dynamic, on demand, we can optimize it. And as a result of that, we can downsize everything. Everything can be smaller, but still with a high optimized power output. So this was the key, really, to combine the electrical drivetrain with this power plant. So if you look at the layout here, we have the small, we call it the tiny friendly giant engine. It's kind of funny. It's it's the layout is, it's a 3-cylinder engine, a 2-liter engine. So it's a really, really small engine, but only weighs 70 kilos, but it still produces 600 horsepower and 600 Newton meters. So it's a really, it is tiny in size and weight, and it is friendly because of the free valve system. We can optimize the combustion, and we can run it on any type of fuel and really optimize the combustion. We can run it on renewable fuels even. And that's why we call it the friendly. It's a tiny, friendly, and the giant, of course, is the giant performance it makes. So it's absolutely a game changer. So the layout here is that we have the 3-cylinder engine still in the middle. It's quite far back, but still in the middle. It's the front of the rear axle, and mounted directly onto the crankshaft of that engine sits an electrical motor, like in the Ridge era. This package actually propels the front axle, so we have a torque tube going along the whole vehicle's length to the front, and then that's coupled with a torque converter, also designed in-house. We call it the Hydra Coupe. It's a high performance torque converter that can handle our power and torque. So again,
you guys have some great names for things, but
yeah, we do. Yes.
all joking aside,
yeah.
Almost everything that we're looking at in this image is designed, engineered, and manufactured by Koenigsegg. And that, I think, my background is powertrain, so I could talk to you for days about this. It's brilliant stuff. But I think the unique thing is that tiny friendly giant says a lot. In fact, you've got so much going on in your business, which is what, about 400 people, across so many different domains, whether it's electrical, electronics, software, transmission, trim, carbon, electrical, you name it. It's just fantastic to have all of that. So what you're saying about being an OEM is absolutely the case.
It is, yeah, absolutely. And of course, to pull this off, we are changing our whole company and the way we work, and also when we look at the CAD and PLM, we of course need tools to have our engineers really focusing on what creates value, and then communication, collaboration between us, and the data quality must be absolutely top notch to pull something like this off. So that was this project, and this car was really the driver for us to really look into the CAD and PLM situation that we had, and see if we could do something really better and more suitable for our challenges.
Whenever a company's growing, especially if it's growing fast, there's a lot of things to manage and juggle, especially if you're increasing the production volumes. I dare say you've got to grow your supplier network, but you've got to be able to collaborate. I know you were saying that you do so much as a business. You've got to streamline, and I guess if you're bringing in new employees, again, you want to make sure that they can get up to speed as quickly as possible. But just what you were saying a minute ago about these latest models, they're getting more complex. There's a lot more technology in there, and if your information is scattered across multiple systems, I guess again that's a barrier to efficiency, and it's a barrier to doing what you guys evidently love doing, which is innovating.
You're absolutely right, Andrew. It's an extremely ambitious project, and to make it happen, we knew that the company was needed to change in many ways and grow, and we needed to develop new departments to cope with it all, as it's being that is complex, and also that we the Humira program, we wanted to also increase production rate and produce more units. So it's all game changing, you know, and to be able to do that, we need more people. And so this was the challenge to try to, you know, have everyone collaborating together, how to improve information flow, how to upkeep data quality between us. So this was the absolute challenge, and all in all, we wanted the Koenigsegg DNA to still be in place. I mean, we come from we're a very small company, so we needed this agility and
So you're now standing at the end of a long road. How do you start that journey? How do you decide who to work with, what style of work, and
Yeah.
what was the approach at the beginning there?
I mean, we have looked at that, trying to modernize our CAD and PLM softwares and processes for years, but we have never really had the confidence and found confidence in people that could help us with it, because it's quite a challenge to do it. You know, it's one thing to get the systems up and running, and then you have to migrate everything, and then after that you have to get all the users, you know, trained and up and running into the new system. So it's a really tough challenge, and we've never been confident in doing it. But we have looked at both PLM systems and CAD systems, completely different systems that we use today, but never been confident. And then we, at one point 2 years ago, we partnered up with you guys at Technia, and as soon as we had the initial discussions, we really from the beginning we felt that, okay, these guys have done this before, right? The approach was different. You didn't come here with it, you know, your glossy brochures and fancy PowerPoint presentations. It was not about that. It was about how we work and what are your challenges, and how does your tools look like today? What is really good today, and what do we need to change? So it's all about those discussions, and then when you have identified all your needs and identified your processes, then you can look at softwares and you know, how can this palette of software help us achieving what we wanted to do. So it was we immediately understood that, okay, yeah, these guys have done this before. It was evident from the beginning,
it's nice of you to say so, but I think maybe we could take some of the viewers through some of that process. So we did what is both a pre-study, which involved a value assessment, and we can share some of the findings of that. So this image shows us a sort of a rough plan of the pre-study that was undertaken, which included a survey, so discussion with stakeholders, and just getting an opportunity for us to find out more about what you do, and equally for you guys to understand more about what these tools can achieve. And we'll talk in a minute, but the customer value model session in there, I'll explain that in a minute. But how did you start about sort of bringing the people together for this activity?
We knew from the start that it was important not to only focus on engineering, but to get the whole company involved in this, because we needed input from everyone to make this right. I mean, it's engineering is just a small part of this whole company. In order to have this ambitious project completed, we knew that we needed help. So what we did was that I actually identified people all over our company in different departments that I knew had a lot of opinions, right? There were people that have worked here for quite some time, and they know what works and what not works. So I started to get them interested in what engineering was doing, this whole PLM implementation study. So we started off identifying key players, and we started with a survey to get our head around what are the issues that they see, not only engineering, but purchasing, production preparation, production, and then also all the way to aftermarket and service. What are the things that engineering can change for them for their lives to be easier, right? To have the correct information at the correct point in time, and so on. So this was a broad approach to it, and we had the opportunity to, as I said, start from scratch here. So this survey, we got a good indication of what the main areas were. What should we focus on? And then we after that we did we had a meeting. We gathered everyone. This was before Corona, by the way, but we gathered everyone in a big conference room. We had a chat about, okay, this is engineering. We have a project. We want to create a PLM system that's gonna, it's gonna help us with what we want to achieve. But we need your input to make it perfect, because that is what we do, right? We don't do anything by chance. So we had a brief introduction, and also we explained our vision of a PLM system, because it means a little bit different to different people. So that was also important. Then we had a workshop around this whole thing, the topics from the survey, discussing them. Okay, what are the key topics? What are the key problems that we can identify? And also, how can we solve them? And what would the benefits be from solving these issues, and to identify those and try to, all in all, to have us focus on these points. Also to prioritize the project for the coming phases, how to implement it, and identify low-hanging fruits, to be really sufficient at what we were doing.
So should we have a look at the value model that came out of that? Because I think a lot of what you're describing sort of fits in with the. So just very briefly, the value model is it's essentially we extract the DNA out of all of those discussions and line up from those discussions. We try and identify common themes. So what are the common business drivers? What's the business objectives? And effectively, you try and map an end-to-end journey going from, right, if these are the business drivers, what benefits does the business get? How does it get those benefits? And what does it have to do to get those benefits? So the changes. So this is a summary of that, because there were loads more than visible on the screen. But I think the first thing was to identify them. And then, as you said about identifying in what order they're achieved. And if I just show this, you can maybe talk us through this. This was an example of what was selected for everything that's still visible, and proportions of it. That's what you would decide we can do this in phase one. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This, it was a way of us identifying issues and prioritize them, really. And then, this is the really fantastic approach to the problem, looking at, the issues and how to solve them and what benefit, before you select the software that actually helps up with it. So, it's a whole different approach to it, which is absolutely fantastic in Norway. And it was
and you've got to get the buy-in of the business and the buy-in of the the senior management and somebody at the top that says, right, I believe in this. Yeah. Here's a roadmap. Let's get on with it. So that's great.
Yeah, and it all ties to the ambitious project with the Yamira. It's all about how do we communicate, how do we collaborate, getting rid of all this manual work and try to be on top of it all and have good communication with the project managers and management to pull it off. So yeah,
absolutely. Great stuff. So from that, you then have a deployment plan, which we see here. So you described earlier your smart team system, your going in point, and then you've got this new project in 3DX phase one, which is, I guess, that's what you're in at the moment. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. That's absolutely right. So these phases are the result of the whole sort of the survey and the value model. So these are the identified key points that we should focus on. And then this was also you guys at Technia, you reminded us with your experience, and of course we also have experience in it, that you need to really keep the scope down. You really need to have phases that are manageable, that you can actually complete and make them work before you do anything else, right?
Yeah, and prove you're getting the benefits you're expected as you move and as you move on.
Yeah.
So in terms of exactly the status today, and you mentioned that COVID, I'm sure there's been some disruption, but where exactly are you today? I mean, says on the screen there, but
yeah, I mean, we have completed the phase 1, so we are up and running, which is absolutely fantastic. I mean, we did this in 5-6 months period of time. It was really quick because we were well prepared, right? We knew exactly what we were up against and what we were supposed to do. So right now we're up and running. We have migrated some of the Gemira data. We have approximately 10 engineers that are working with 3D experience, and that is also a key thing, that it's good to have the first initial phase quite small,
contained. Yeah.
Contained, small and quick to get the system up and running, because when you actually have the system up and running and user using it, you get a lot of feedback and really good feedback from the users. So it's really hard to imagine a PLM system or anything if it doesn't exist. You have to imagine to try to discuss around thin air. It's really hard. So this was a really good approach to have the system up and running. It's fairly basic. Most of it is out of the box, but still you get a lot of input, which is fantastic. And then with the second phase, you start to add on more functionality as you go.
So the key thing there that I've highlighted is CATIA 3D experience. So you showed this to me a while back, and this was, I believe, the sort of the main driver behind selecting CATIA 3D experience, or V6 as some of us know it. Performance, is it as simple as that from your point of view?
Yes and no, actually. I mean, it's performance is one thing, to open models quickly, but that's not the whole story, of course. I mean, it's all about, for us, it's all about, working context. Everyone should have access to the information they need, and we should all collaborate in one platform to be able to do the things we do in the pace we do it. So to open up a full car to be able to work in context, it's not really feasible. So we really like the 3D experience approach with the that you could work in context by you don't have to open the full car, right? You can
so like draw
work in context, but with a small portion of it, which makes it a lot faster and more agile. So it's not only about load times, but it's of course also it's quicker in that sense as well. But it's all about working in context and smooth running.
Yeah, and I guess you did bigger assemblies than we see here. That's
obviously,
just a few
yes,
examples. Yeah. So it wasn't just about the performance of CATIA 3D experience or V6 over V5.
No, it was not. It's actually, I mean, we were really impressed by the whole unified product structure approach to the system, which is very different from the file-based CATIA V5 approach. So what that means for us is that we as engineers we spend a lot of time and money and effort into creating digital models of our cars, and we have for years dreamt about utilizing these models more than just for engineering and for sending out models to our suppliers. We have dreamt of having production to utilize the same data, and also service utilize it for finding parts and spare parts and so on. So this is what makes it extremely attractive for us to have the, for example, have the production engineering access and use the same data as the engineering have prepared for it. So it actually revolutionized the way completely the way we work here at Koenigsegg by this utilizing this model, and also the packaging, the license packaging for 3D experience was also well thought through and attractive for us, as we as all users here, they are very sort of flexible, and they have all these different hats that they put on, and the packaging was very suitable for that kind of work.
Okay, that's fantastic. So I see with things like 3D master, so 3D tolerancing and simulation. I guess not everything you might use straight away today, but as you say, it's about flexibility and the future as well.
It is, yeah, and it's also, I mean, when it comes to other commercial aspects, it's also about data security and how the 3D experience is set up when it comes to that, where you have different access rules and how that works. It's also not being file-based, so it's not so easy for anyone to steal our data, right? It's a more secure way of doing it, especially when we have all partners and people working outside our organization as well. It's very, very, very nice to have these things.
Well, that's one of the key things with the V6 approach, is it's data driven. That you're not managing files. Even with V5, there are files, even if they are being used inside the platform. So you're absolutely right. Having full 3DX is, when you look at it in the round, is fundamentally more robust, more secure. But
yeah.
So you mentioned about going from end to end. Now, I understand that you've already made a start with some pilot studies on some of the Delmia work.
Yeah, this is I mean, this is also essential, as the whole Demira project is game changing in our company, as I've been talking about before, and also we have a completely new department at Koenigsegg called manufacturing engineering. And they are focusing on the actual manufacturing of this vehicle, as we're doing it more units and we are trying to produce them quicker. We need to have more focus on manufacturing engineering, engineer our products to manufacturing, and the solutions that 3D experience has with Delmia is fantastic. It's something that we dreamt of for years, that you can utilize engineering data and actually build the whole car virtually before you don't have any physical parts yet. You can do the whole thing virtual and digitalized before you do it. And as I mentioned, we are building a completely new plant assembly line for this. So we're using the same engineering data. We're focusing on organizing our plant layouts and our creating emblems and work instructions and everything based upon the same data.
And I just have to point out to our viewers again, I mean, that's a V8 engine, which is 100% bespoke, custom to Koenigsegg from top to bottom. You sometimes just have to remind these things, because it's be easy to think, oh, you bought the engine in from someone. You don't work like that, do you?
No, it's very, very unique in all aspects. Absolutely.
So I guess coming towards the end of the session, just what's next?
We're doing the sort of the Delmia pilot here at Koenigsegg, so we really try to utilize that functionality. But also we are doing trying to have everything in the same system, so we can easily collaborate and work in context. The electrical being one of those things, we are getting all the harness design engineering into 3D experience, and because of many reasons, space allocation being one reason. This is one of those things that we have historically been quite it's not been perfect, to say the least. So it's very good to have it in the same system, in the same context, to communicate. Also, when it comes to CATIA composites, it's again, create one model in one system, then reuse it for different purposes. Composites, I mean, we do a lot of composites. The whole chassis and the whole body is carbon fiber. So we have a good core knowledge in our company with composites as well. So creating models that are accurate and that we can use for simulations when it comes to crash simulations for our homologation requirements, etc., etc. And also when it comes to the manufacturing, we can do the layout documents and the procedures how to manufacture carbon fiber parts directly from the engineering model. So it's all about collaboration and reusing the same data to be efficient.
Yeah, and capturing that knowledge and data all in the single source of truth,
exactly,
as you say.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And that's a way of effectively capturing some of the collective knowledge of the business in your products, I guess.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
So I guess, unfortunately, I could stay here all week, but we have to draw this to a conclusion. So if we just recap then, just for a moment, you needed to make some drastic changes to your systems landscape in line with the drastic changes that were going on in your business. I think that's fair to say, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, it's a game changing again. I mean, we are looking at every aspect of our organization and try to really adopt for this challenge. The 3D experience platform is one part of that to be able to achieve what we want to achieve.
And then considering the deployment of the platform with the partner that you're going to work with for the next few years, that approach sounds like it's worked for you, and it's certainly worked for us. But I think the way that you've described the approach, you sound like you've given the same approach to this project as you do to your products, really. Sounds like the business value assessment activity where we collaborated to identify what was important to you as a business, what you actually needed, and what could be done in what order. That sounds like it's been of benefit and resulted in this phased approach, which phase one sounds like it's pretty much gone to plan. It's complete. You've got the out-of-the-box system deployed, 10 people working in 3D experience already working on pilots for MBOM and process planning. So I guess the question is, if so far so good, that's great, but what's next?
Yeah, so I mean, absolutely true, but yeah, it's all about having the platform idea and utilizing the platform idea for many purposes and things that we've been lacking before. We have Koenigsegg, we have a lot of functions and a lot of different systems that helps us keeping track of things, but they're all different. They're all scattered around, right? So what we want to really do in the future is to try to have everything collected in this great platform. And so when it comes to project management and change management, we really want to have it inside there to be able to collaborate and communicate better than we do today. And also with integrations to other systems like the ERP integrations, we want to also start to streamline everything and have us focused on what creates value for the company, not to spend time on the overheads. That's really what we want to try to achieve by doing this.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, maybe next year, if things are going to plan, we could reconvene and hear what you've managed to achieve. But for now, Henrik, I'd just like to say thank you very much for taking the time to take us through your fantastic journey, and wish you the best with your ongoing activities.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. It's been my pleasure. It's yeah, this platform and the program at Koenigsegg, I'm sure it will be absolutely amazing. Just we need some more time and effort to do it perfectly. But you know, that's our ambition, of course. And I'm happy to do this again someday. And of course, I wish you all that have tuned in a great day, and I hope your stay here at the event will be fantastic. Yeah. So
thank you very much. That's brilliant. And yeah, let's hopefully reconvene in person when all of this unfortunate COVID situation is over. Thank you very much, Henrik.
I hope so. Yeah, absolutely. And then also, if someone is interested in Koenigsegg, we have obviously our website koenigsegg.com that you can visit, and make sure also to visit the career page on that. As we are hiring, we need a lot of new people in here. So just give us a call if you're interested.
Fantastic. All right. Thank you very much, Henrik. You take care. Bye bye.
Take care. Bye bye.